Why do Jinnah's amendments and 14 points hold such stature in the history of India and Pakistan? To answer this, we journey back to the All-Parties Conference held at Calcutta in December 1928. Here, Jinnah, representing the Muslim League, proposed 3 amendments to the Nehru Report. The first amendment called for 1/3 representation to Muslims in the central legislature. The second demanded reservation for Muslims in Bengal and Punjab legislatures, proportional to their population, until adult suffrage was established. The third and final amendment requested residual powers to provinces. However, these demands fell on deaf ears, not finding a place in the Nehru Report. Undeterred, Jinnah returned to the Shafi faction of the Muslim League, and in March 1929, proposed what would become a cornerstone in the history of the subcontinent: the 14 points. The first point advocated for a federal constitution with residual powers to provinces. The second called for provincial autonomy. The third insisted that no constitutional amendment should occur by the center without the concurrence of the states constituting the Indian Federation. The fourth point demanded that all legislatures and elected bodies should have adequate representation of Muslims in every province. The fifth point sought adequate representation for Muslims in the services and in self-governing bodies. The sixth point echoed the First Amendment, calling for 1/3 Muslim representation in the central legislature. The seventh point demanded that in any cabinet at the center or in the provinces, 1/3 should be Muslims. The eighth point introduced the concept of separate electorates. The ninth point stipulated that no bill or resolution in any legislature should be passed if 3/4 of a minority community considered such a bill or resolution to be against their interests. The 10th point declared that any territorial redistribution should not affect the Muslim majority in Punjab, Bengal, and NWFP. The 11th point called for the separation of Sindh from Bombay. The 12th point demanded constitutional reforms in the NWFP and Baluchistan. The 13th point demanded full religious freedom to all communities. The 14th and final point sought the protection of Muslim rights in religion, culture, education, and language. These 14 points became the basis for all future propaganda of the Muslim League, setting the stage for the eventual creation of Pakistan. They continue to echo in the history and politics of India and Pakistan, underlining the importance of minority rights and the delicate balance of power in a diverse society.